it's Tina and I am back and I am here with another Get Ready With Me makeup tutorial. This time I am using the Too Faced Just Peachy eyeshadow palette. In fact, I'm using all the products that I picked up from the Peach collection from Too Faced. I also incorporated a single shade from the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. That's what you see on the center of my lid. So if you want to see how I accomplished this look and to see how the products perform, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Alright guys, so as usual I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and I did fill in my eyebrows off camera, and now I'm going in with an eyeshadow primer. I'm using this Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine. This is one of the skin tone shades that they came out with. They also have some shimmery shades, but this one is a beautiful, it's almost like a caramelly brown shade, and it has a matte finish. And I'm just gonna buff that all over my eyelids using my Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush just to make sure that's evenly distributed. This seems to take a little bit longer to dry down, and I don't want it to stay tacky, so I'm just gonna keep blending until it dries down completely. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the Too Faced Just Peachy palette, which has all matte shades and they're all peach themed. And I'm gonna go for a pretty soft look today. So I'm gonna start out with Peaches and Cream, which is this matte, almost like a soft sorbet orange. And I'm just gonna buff that in my crease area using my Eddie Funkhouser crease brush. And I'm making sure that I also get on that inner crease area. So I'm going all the way across, and I'm just using windshield wiper motions to apply that color. This is going to act as our blend-in transition shade. As you can see, it doesn't really pack a punch as far as color goes on that brow bone area. Now I definitely want to warm this look up, so I'm going to grab a little bit of Just Peachy and Peach Punch. I'm gonna go between them just to mix them. So I literally just went back and forth between the shades, and I'm just gonna get a light wash of that peachy pink. I don't want it to be too pink, and I don't want it to just be too flat peachy. So mixing the shades together will give us that tone, and I'm just using the same brush, using windshield wiper motions. I'm staying a little bit lower on the lid right now and just going back and forth to build that color up. Now I'm gonna grab Peach Punch by itself, and we're gonna just lightly build that color up. So far the eyeshadows are applying pretty nicely. They're building up and blending out without issue. And there's no patchiness that you can sometimes see from matte eyeshadow, so I'm very happy with that. Now we need to add some depth, so I'm going into this one, which is Just Ripe. This is more like a red cranberry brown, like a plum brown. It's a beautiful shade, and I'm using very little to build up the dimension. It doesn't apply too intensely at first. I'm gonna see if I can build that up. I'm using a smaller blending brush. This is a Smith 247, and I'm using circular motions to try and build up that color. As it stands, this color is not very deep on its own. It looks like a very light wash rather than a deep smoky color. And I'll just go back in with my Eddie Funkhouser brush just to go around the edge of the color and make sure it's blended out. I'm going to grab a bit of Peach Sangria to see if that has more punch to it. This one has a bit of glitter to it. Applying these two colors, it looks like they're very similar in shade, and pigmentation is a little richer but not too intense. Again, I'll go back around the edges with the Eddie Funkhouser brush. Now we'll add a little bit more depth. This is Peach Tart, which is the dark chocolatey brown. This is a Zoeva 227 brush, and I'm just going to, again, build up some depth on that outer V. And it is giving me a lot of color payoff. I like this color a lot more. It's definitely a rich shade, and I don't want it to overwhelm the reds, so I'm not trying to put too much down, but it's a very pigmented shade. I'm going to grab a little bit of the Peach Tart shade and Just Right, mix them together, and apply a touch of that on that inner lid and inner crease just to create kind of a halo shape, but I'm not even going too crazy with the halo. I'm just doing a very light blend on that inner crease and inner lid area. Then I'll go back in and make sure that I blend out the edges. I'm going to clean up the edge of this color because I want it to be a little bit sharper than it is. So I'm just going in with a makeup wipe. While I think about what else I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and apply my moisturizer. This is my Hydra Genius from L'Oreal. It's just a lightweight gel moisturizer, and I really love it. And I'm just applying a little bit of that all over my skin, and I'll allow that to absorb while we carry on with the rest of the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go in with the darkest shade from the palette, this dark neutral brown called Chocolate Dipped. I'm going to grab that on a Sonia Kashuk large crease brush, and I'm very lightly and very precisely applying this color right on that outer lid area. I want it to darken up a bit, but I don't want to apply too much of this dark brown to overwhelm the look. So I'm very lightly just patting this right over that outer V. That definitely added some depth, so I'm gonna go back in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills number A25 brush and go around the edge to make sure it's blended. This is a smaller blending brush, so it will help to concentrate that blend. Now, because we use the makeup wipe, the very edge of the color looks a lot darker because it's damp. So it looks like I created a wing eyeliner without actually doing that. And that's cool, we'll leave it there. For the brow bone, I'm going to use Peach Butter. This is a peach toned ivory. So I'm just going to pop that directly under my brow bone area with my MAC 242 and blend it downwards just onto the brow bone so it blends in with those shades, and it kind of pulls the colors down a little bit as well. It's like an eraser. I'm also going to pop some of that color directly on the inner tear duct, and that's going to bring some brightness to that inner tear duct area so it's not all closed off. Now I wanted to do something a little fun with this look, so I'm going to pair it with one of the shimmer shades from the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I think I want to use the shade Twilight, which is this purple duochrome shade. And I'm picking that up on my finger, which I thoroughly hate to do, but these shades don't really apply that well without a finger. So I'm going to just tap it on the center of the lid. And we're not worrying about blending right now. I'm just applying the color to make sure that it sticks. I did dampen my finger with a little bit of my Inglot Duraline, because I know these colors need something for them to stick to. So I'm just tapping that directly on the center of the lid. Now once we have that down, I'm just gonna go around the edges very lightly with my Rite Aid synthetic brush. This is just gonna blend out the sharp lines that can be left behind, because I want everything to blend seamlessly together. I'm picking up a bit of Peach Punch, which is the brighter pink shade, like the pinky orange shade. And I'm just going to use that to run around the edges of all the colors just in the center. And then I'm going back into Peach Tart and Chocolate Dipped. I'm going to mix those two together. That's going to give me a deeper smoky punch. And I'm going to apply that to the outer V area, just to blend everything together. Now we're going to continue with the face product. So I'm going in with my Peach Primer here. This is the Primed in Peachy Coolin' Matte Primer. And I'm applying a good amount of this all over my face, especially in my T-zone, so around my nose and my cheek area. And I'm using pressing and buffing motions to press this into my skin and make sure that it fills in all my pores. Now this is a mattifying primer, so if you have dry skin, you might want to stay away from this, but it does tighten a bit as it dries down, and as you rub it in, it does give that tightening, mattifying feel to your skin. So you definitely feel it absorbing your oils and absorbing any moisture that is currently in your skin. I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes to really absorb everything. So while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and apply my mascara which is my Too Faced Better Than Sex. I kind of feel like I have to do a wing now because I created that darkness on that outer V. So I'm going to go in with, this is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. And I'm creating a very thin wing with this. The line on the outer V actually helped me to guide where my wing went. And this liquid eyeliner is a brush tip, so it's very flexible, but you have to be careful that you don't create a heavy line with it. And because we applied eyeliner, now I feel like I have to go in with eyelashes. These are from Eyelure. They're Style 117. They're very simple everyday lashes, so they won't be too intense on my upper lash line area at all. Now, of course, I'm going in with the foundation. This is the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. The shade that I use is Mocha. And I'm just going to apply that all over my skin using my Oval 8 brush from Artis. Love this brush and I love this foundation. And with this primer, it actually makes it even more matte. So I really love the combination with the powder and with the setting spray as well. But I'm just going to apply that, make sure that it's all blended in. I'm going to apply a little bit of concealer under my eyes because I feel like I need it today. So I'm using the All Hours concealer from YSL. The shade I'm using is number 6. And then I'm also going to add a bit of number 5 just to brighten it up a bit. And I'll blend that out with a dampened beauty blender. And I'm just tapping over it to blend it under my eyes. This is a really hydrating concealer and I actually have been liking it a lot. It's very lightweight, so it doesn't feel heavy or cakey under the eyes, and it gives pretty decent coverage. And it really blanks out under the eye area, and I really like how it feels under there because under the eyes tend to be one of the drier spots on my face. So I like having a more hydrating concealer under there, and this one's a great one. Now that we have that down, I'm going to go in with a bit of the Peach Perfect powder, and I'm going to tap that on my Tarte powder player brush and just press this into the skin just to set everything in place. And this is a great powder. I didn't really think I would love it as much as I do. To finish up the look, I'm going in with this peachy lip color from CoverGirl. It's one of the Melt in Pout Gel Liquid Lipsticks. It's the shade 115 Gelibrate. I just apply that lightly to my lips. I can already tell you I don't like this packaging, and so I don't like this product. The applicator is that squeeze tube, and I don't like how that applies at all. I'm gonna go over it though with my Rimmel Oh My Gloss Oil Tint. This one is the shade Orange Mode, just to give it a little bit of shine and to make it look really juicy. And these lip oils I do love. They're really inexpensive and they give a really juicy look to the lips without being sticky or too glossy. And let's finish the look up with a little bit of the setting spray. This is the Peach Mist Mattifying Setting Spray. So there you have it. This is the completed look, and I am not 100% happy with it. It's okay, but it's not something that I would write home about. It's not something I would tell you to run out and get this palette because it's so awesome. The shimmer on the center of the lid is the only thing that's really pulling this look together, so I'm not 100% happy at all. But the skin products I absolutely love, and I even love this highlight from them. This was from the previous collection, but I love that as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. At the very least, I hope you were entertained, and hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight into this eyeshadow palette to see if it's something you want to pick up. I will leave a full list of the products used and mentioned in this video down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. Those links happen to be affiliate links, which means if you make a purchase through those links, I do end up making a small sales commission. I am not directly affiliated with any of the companies. I just link them through Sephora or Ulta. And if you're uncomfortable with that, just go ahead and shop the way you normally shop. But if you do shop through my links, thank you so much for the support because it helps me to put back into the channel. I'll also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter page where you should definitely be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.